Welcome back, everybody, to another Lamplight City episode. If you guys are enjoying this series so far, make sure you hit the like button. I want to make sure that people are enjoying this, or else I'm really just not going to honestly play it for you guys. I'll probably just play it for myself. We are in some sort of coffee place. Lots of different... Oh, this is Upton. That's who I need to talk to. There's lots of patrons here.
Best avoid that one. He looks like he might tip over at any moment.
I thought
Reminds
this
me
was
of
coffee.
when I was alive. Ah, good times.
Oh, man.
Self-Portrait as a Desperate Man by B. Calvert. A bit like looking in the mirror, isn't it, Miles?
Yikes. All right, buddy. All right, come on now.
Seems like they have a little something for everyone in here.
So I thought this was coffee, but that doesn't look like
All
coffee.
that metal and tubing just to serve a hot cup of coffee? The specialty house brews. These are definitely not coffee.
I see. Okay, so...
Give me an old-fashioned tea kettle any day.
Alright, so obviously, it's a different kind of establishment. It's not really a coffee place, I suppose. We got drunk guys sitting in the corner. We've got
If it isn't my
booze
old
all over
friend,
the place.
up to no good.
Hello, Fordham. It's good to see you.
How did you
Good to
get
see
them
you
to
too.
let you in here?
It's rather simple, really. The owner and I have an understanding. He pretends women are allowed in coffee houses, and I don't report his unsavory business practices to Chief Snelling.
Sounds like a good deal. What sort of unsavory business practices are we talking about?
Oh, we haven't got time to get into that now. But take some advice. Don't order anything that isn't water.
Okay. Alright. Alright,
I
what's
got
going
your
on?
message. What's going on?
It's time for you to join the big boys again, Fordham. Your days of finding lost cats are over.
So stop
Bummer.
teasing me and tell me what it is already.
Do you know Madame Laura Dupre?
No.
Can't say the name
Honestly,
rings any
I
bells.
don't. So,
I'm not surprised. She's one of the Gascon Grand Dames. Doesn't really run in our kind of social circles.
Ah, right.
Madame
Okay.
Dupre died the day before yesterday. Her funeral was held this morning.
My condolences.
But halfway through the service, the mourners heard a loud knocking coming from inside her coffin.
She wasn't dead?
Apparently not. Nearly interred alive, although her doctor swears she had no pulse. Dupre's son Andrew was quick to suspect foul play. He accused a man named Albert Martin, and the police arrested him.
So where do I come in? Sounds like the case has already been solved.
I strongly suspect that Martin is innocent, especially considering the talk of him having used black magic on Dupre. The police feel they have enough evidence to convict, so they're not bothering to investigate any further. You're going to look into it and see if I'm right, then find the person who was really behind this.
Has Madame Dupre recovered from her ordeal?
I'm afraid not. Apparently she's been catatonic since they pulled her out of the coffin.
How unfortunate.
If you'd like to question Mr. Martin, he's being held at the Bow Street Jail. Or you could take
Okay.
a look around his house. It's at 451 Compton Street in Worcester.
And the Dupre home?
That's at Emmeline and Comtesse, right across from the old Angeline convent. It's also possible you might run into the police during your investigation, since they're technically still on the case.
Thanks for the warning.
Was there anything you wanted to talk about before you get started?
alright. Yeah, let's see what else is
Yes,
available.
actually.
Let's hear that.
See what else. I don't know.
Don't suppose there have been any developments regarding Bill's murder.
Unfortunately not. The department hasn't exactly been focusing on that case as a priority. The general attitude is that it was an accident. Bill died an honorable death in the line of duty.
Would have been nice if they bothered saying that at the funeral.
And of course, there are still those who blame you for his death, Snelling being the first and foremost.
But
Thanks,
the man
lady.
who killed him is still out there.
Yes, I know, but it looks like you're on your own if you want to find him.
I'm not
My
sure.
hands are tied. I can only ask around so much before the higher-ups get suspicious. Just don't give up. New Britannia may be a big city, but the criminal world is surprisingly close-knit. If you find any connections or leads during your other cases, be sure and let me know.
Okay.
I'll do the same if I find anything out.
See, she has a priority straight. You could learn a lot from Upton.
Alright.
That's it, I think.
Then
Okay.
you'd better get back to it.
I wonder if my actions
Well, I'm not entirely
Not
sure how
shooting.
this is going to help you find the flower shop burglar.
are gonna make a big
But
deal.
I suppose freeing an innocent man is a worthy diversion.
I'm fairly confident that no matter what decision was made, there was going to be a Bill was gonna die. But does it make a difference if I shot him versus not? I don't know. So we got the manor, we've got the jail. All right, why don't we start by going to, where should we go first? Where would we go first? Where would I go first? You want to hear from the suspect first? Yeah. I mean, you probably want to cross-examine both, so you go back and forth.
Fordham?
But
Is that you? You look like something the cat spat up.
you don't look
Hello,
too great
Giles.
yourself.
It's lovely to see you too.
What brings you around the jail? I thought you'd quit being a detective.
I'm looking to speak with Mr. Albert Martin.
Oh, I see. Well, that's him in the first cell there.
I assume.
I'd say what needs saying as quick as you can, though. He's headed for the gallows in the morning.
What? Already? But what about a trial?
No trial necessary when there's black magic involved. This little half-breed's already sealed his fate.
Such a charming fellow, isn't he? I bet that's a direct line to the police department. You should make a rude noise into it when Giles isn't paying attention.
Yeah.
He's watching you like a hawk. Looks liable to toss you in one of his cells if you try any funny business. Not much in the way of comfort. No bed or even a bucket. It's a good thing this place is meant for short stays.
So Bill's become our commentator.
Mr. Martin?
Who are you? My lawyer?
No, I'm actually here to help you. The name's Miles Fordham. I'm a private investigator.
How are you going to help me?
I'm looking into the attack on Madame Dupre. I believe you're innocent.
Oh, thank heaven. That's music to my ears.
Would you mind answering a few questions for me?
Friend, if it means saving me from the noose, I'll tell you nothing less than God's truth.
Interesting choice of phrase for someone accused of using black magic.
So, my impression from that is, I mean, I don't believe that there's magic in this game, so this guy, if he did kill her, or attempted to kill her, wasn't using magic for it. My suspicion is that somebody else wants him in jail. Now, why, I don't know. We need to figure that out.
How did you end up in here?
I was just minding my own business at home when the police showed up with no warning. They made some outrageous claims about me putting some sort of curse on Madame Dupre. The next thing I knew, I was here. Oh, Mama must be beside herself with worry. I just hope she's all right.
Let's follow that up.
What does your mother do, Mr. Martin?
She helps people.
I was hoping you'd be just a bit more specific.
She provides spiritual help to those who seek guidance.
She's a spiritualist.
Not quite. She's more like... how can I explain it? You know how a priest holds mass to spread the word of God to the people? My mother holds services and calls on the spirits to walk among us, providing healing and guidance.
So she's a religious leader?
If you want to give her that title, it would be the most appropriate.
And does this religion of yours have a name?
You'd probably know it as voodoo, but it doesn't mean what you think it does. People are so quick to judge and portray us as evil when they have no idea.
That's gonna make it hard to convince anybody that you
So you
not
practice
black
voodoo, do
magic.
you?
Are you making fun of me, Mr. Fordham?
No, of course not. Apologies if it seemed as though I was. It's just that the police are convinced that black magic was involved in Madame Dupre's apparent death.
That's because that idiot son of hers knew about my mother, and like all bigoted fools, assumed that we're involved in devil worship and the black arts. But I can assure you that this is most certainly not the case, Mr. Fordham.
Of course, I didn't mean to imply.
Just forget it.
It was an important conversation to have.
What can you tell me about Madame Dupre?
What's to tell? She's a twisted, evil woman who got what was coming to her.
buddy.
Whoever attacked her deserves some sort of reward for the service they're doing the community.
So it wasn't you then?
No, I'm innocent, Mr. Fordham. You have to believe me.
I'm afraid you're not making that very easy right now, Mr. Martin.
Now, the game is doing this on purpose, obviously. They want him to feel guilty. We'll look further into this, but...
Do you know anything about the circumstances of Madame Dupre's supposed death?
No, I had nothing to do with it.
Then why did her son accuse you?
Probably because he's just as ignorant as she is.
What I meant was, how did
Yeah.
her son know to accuse you? Have you had any contact with the family before?
Yes, you could say that.
Uh-oh. That gleam in his eye says it all.
Yeah.
You see, I'm involved with Dupre's daughter, Juliet Montgomery. Dupre doesn't like that one bit. She even threatened me once.
Is that right?
Yes, she might have everyone else fooled, but that woman is the devil incarnate. I can't understand how something so heartless and cruel could have spawned someone as pure and, loving as my dear Juliet.
He's not really helping his case much, is he?
Oh no, he's not. No, he's not. I have a feeling that this Lamplight City case is going to be a tough one. I think this is going to be a big one for us. All right.
Tell me about Juliet.
She's wonderful. Such a beautiful, kind soul. She hasn't come to see me yet, but I'm sure that's because of all the confusion in the last few days. Juliet wouldn't believe for a second that I would be capable of harming her mother. I'm sure of it.
How did you two get involved?
We met at the university.
Your classmates?
Hardly. They wouldn't allow someone like me to enroll there. Juliet studies botany. I work as an assistant in the greenhouse. We started talking, and she actually treated me like a person. To everyone else, I was just the boy who fetched the test tubes. But Juliet actually wanted to hear what I had to say. Had the same taste in books and art. Didn't just treat me like some piece of gardening equipment. She even shared some of her notes with me after I told her I was interested in botany as well. From there, things just got better. I don't expect you to understand or approve, but that's how it happened.
Oh, you'd be surprised. It doesn't sound too different to how my wife and I got together. Except I was a detective and she was a singer at a bar.
And she's...
Yes, Mr. Martin. Anyway, back to the matter at hand. How often is Juliet in the greenhouse?
Every weekday, but I doubt she's there now. She's probably trying to find out where I am and working to have me released.
Somehow, I wouldn't bet on that.
All right.
That's
So-
all for now.
Oh, wait, before you go,
Yeah.
would you do me a favor? Would you go see my mother at our house and give her a message?
You're at 451 Compton Street, right?
Yes, that's right. Could you tell her I said St. Rock's dog is barking?
I suppose I could do that, yes.
Oh, thank you.
Whatever happened to a simple I love you?
All right, so obviously that's code. Let's discuss real quick, guys. Let's discuss this case real quick. All right. The first thing I noticed there is he's absolutely convinced this woman is looking for him. I'm absolutely convinced she is not. It's just the feeling that I've gotten, and then of course Bill pointed that out as well. Now here's the key though. She is into botany. And I don't suspect black magic is what's to cause for giving her mother no harpy. My guess is that might have something to do with some sort of combination of plants, perhaps, that one might learn about as a studier of botany. And perhaps he's just the fall guy she's been utilizing, or perhaps she's getting something else, some sort of access to the greenhouses from him. But my suspicion right now is 100% on the daughter. 150%. Alright, is there anything else that has changed here? Any other information maybe that has become more interactable than it was before? Doesn't look it. Alright, let's keep on moving on now. Do I want to go to the mother's first then, and follow up that side? The university is available too. I want to save Dupree for a little bit longer here. I want to have more information about what's going on with the daughter first before I potentially confront her. She would be at Dupree's Manor, I would imagine, if that's where she's at. I guess she could be at the university. Oh, well, actually, yeah, she might actually still be at the gardens. That might be why that became available. So what is it we'd like to do? Let's go to Dupree then. I don't know, is she at the garden? I don't want to run into her yet. I think she might still be
You
at
are
the,
aware this is
property.
private property, sir.
Yes, I'm Miles Fordham, private investigator. I'm looking into the incident involving Madame Dupre. I assume this is she?
You assume correctly, Mr. Fordham. My apologies, but I thought the police had already made an arrest.
That's right, but there's still some doubt as to the man's guilt. May I ask your name, sir?
I am Dr. Fellows, Madame Dupre's private physician. I'm afraid she is in no state to be answering questions at present.
Not surprised.
Are any other members of the family home?
Her son, Mr. Montgomery, is in the entrance hall. I had to give him a mild sedative to settle his nerves, but he should be all right to converse.
Then if you don't mind, I'll have a look around.
Can I speak with you more?
Doctor, may I ask you a few questions?
Please be my guest.
So what have you seen?
Tell me about Madame Dupre.
She is a great woman and a pillar of the community. I cannot imagine why something like this could happen to her, or how someone could be capable of such a barbaric feat. Though this ordeal has been terrible, I am confident she will overcome. The power of her physical constitution is surpassed only by her strength of character.
Do you think he'd say the same things if he wasn't on her payroll? I highly doubt it.
What were the circumstances surrounding Madame Dupre's supposed death?
Her son, Andrew, sent for me a few days ago after finding her unconscious and unresponsive. As I was unable to detect a pulse or breath, I had no other recourse but to declare her deceased. I judged that Madame Dupre had likely suffered a sudden cardiac arrest. It was most shocking to be proven wrong at a funeral.
I can imagine. Where was the funeral held, by the way?
St. Denis Cemetery. Madame Dupre wished to be interred in the tomb of her father's family, name of Chesterton.
Perhaps I'll go have a look. Did you examine Madame Dupre after she reanimated?
Of course. Physically, she appeared to be in fine health aside from minor dehydration. I found no marks or bruising on her body. Mentally is a different story, however. She's remained in an unresponsive state ever since.
Do you have any opinions on what caused Madame Dupre to appear dead?
Right.
The most likely cause I can imagine is some sort of poison or toxin.
What leads you to believe Madame Dupre was poisoned?
The symptoms she experienced were consistent with prior cases of poisoning I've studied. And didn't the young man arrested have ties to some kind of black magic cult?
You don't
There
even
have
believe
been
that.
reported cases of these practitioners using poisons to make people appear dead, then commanding them to do their bidding. I recall reading about a man in the West Indies who was given tetrodotoxin, that's the toxic secretion from a pufferfish, declared dead and buried. He appeared alive in his village some 20 years later.
Doesn't that seem a bit far-fetched to you, Doctor?
Facts are facts, Mr. Fordham. Surely someone in your line of work can appreciate that.
Okay. Let's finish this up by talking about
How
him.
long have you been
Might be
Madame
something in
Dupre's private physician?
5 years, and I've been practicing medicine for the past 30. I still spend a couple of days a week treating patients at Riverview Asylum.
Oh, good. Maybe if you're lucky, he could be your doctor someday.
here. Bill.
30 years is quite a long time. You must have seen some incredible advances in the field of medicine.
I have, yes. I can only wonder how things will change with all this talk of ethericity. There's speculation it can be used to restore necrotic tissue and instantly heal broken bones, among other things. If you ask me, a good bloodletting will never go out of fashion.
Those are all the questions I've got for now.
Okay.
I hope I answered them adequately.
You did, sir. You did. By the way, this is how you save, just so you know. Oh. Am I gonna have to use the clues to make a decision in the case? If that's the case, I should probably definitely make sure I get to some of the areas that could have clues available for
Oh,
the
hello.
defense as well.
Are you the new servant?
No,
I hate
I'm
this guy
Miles
already.
Fordham. I'm a private investigator looking into your mother's attempted murder.
How did you know I was her son? Oh, of course. You must have sensed it with your detective's intuition. I should have guessed by that giant head of yours.
Are you feeling all right, Mr. Montgomery?
Yes, I'm fine. Much better than when those pesky police officers were snooping around earlier. But I like you, Mr. Fordham. I can already tell you're not like them at all. Please, call me Andrew.
Yes. Well, I'll have a look around, and I may need to ask you some questions. Do you think you can handle that?
I can. In fact, I really look forward to it.
If the good doctor gave him a mild sedative, I'd hate to see what the stuff you take would have done to him.
He seems to be hitting on me.
What a beautiful parrot. Must have cost the Dupreys a cool copper. Duprey looks like she's holding on to that poor bastard for dear life.
Money. Surprised that can't be interacted with. We're not speaking with him first. Oh, the parrot we can speak to now.
Who's a pretty bird?
Ray's a pretty bird.
Ray.
Polly want a cracker?
No, thank you.
Pieces of 8?
Aye, matey.
Who's a pretty bird?
I just want to make sure there's nothing in here.
Ray's a
So long, Birdie.
Bye-bye.
That bird is
Do you suppose it's for the
well-educated.
bird? Or perhaps so the Duprey family members can get a good look at themselves on the way out of the house?
I think that bird is going to be more important than it may be letting on. Alright. Kitchen upstairs. Let's start in the kitchen. I meant to say upstairs.
A horrible little porcelain figurine.
Mm-hmm.
Madame Duprey didn't strike me as the type to play with dolls.
Perhaps the young lady does, though.
The Gascon docks. The artist definitely took some liberties. You can't see a single person getting stabbed. Nice bouquet of roses. Although it would make things much easier if they were Easter lilies.
If only.
Must be nice being able to afford keeping your oil.
Okay. Just trying to unlock as many things as I can.
Goodness, someone went overboard with the flowers.
Yeah, lots
This
of
brings
flowers.
back some memories, doesn't it?
Shut
Ones
up.
I'd rather forget.
Yes. Okay.
Is this really the best that medical science has to offer? What in the ether is that thing supposed to be? Actually, I'd rather not know.
This could be important,
These
though.
should be useful.
Nice. Tweezers.
Decadent. The science of pharmacology. I can only wonder.
Yeah, this is definitely interesting here.
Dr. Tennyson's Vigor Pills. These would make a sloth act like a hummingbird. A gentle reminder that everyone's time is slowly running out.
I'm not sure that's what it is, but... Leeches. It says there, we check the flask, the scale, the vigor pills, the contraption.
Oh, look! It's one of those new audio cylindergraphs. I can't quite wrap my head around how they can manage to get sound out of a wax cylinder.
I want to make sure I check everything just in case there's something. Sorry, I couldn't help
It
myself.
must be a nice place to sit and listen to music. I don't know much about art, but I see Madame Duprey and I at least have similar tastes.
Does that mean Bill was into guys?
Why would anyone need so many?
Perhaps it's to mask the odors of those chemicals on the workstation.
Could be.
Okay, so that was him. That was him trying to lead me to the workstation. We've already done the workstation. Let's keep going. Let's keep looking.
Locked. I suppose I shouldn't be surprised.
I have tweezers.
Locked.
You know how
I've never seen so many beauty products together in one place. Doesn't look like they get used much, though.
Oh, key.
They're all empty. How unusual.
Not to mention disappointing. Well, someone's fancy. I never liked these types of beds much. They feel too claustrophobic.
I always thought they had a certain appeal myself.
Yes,
oh,
you would
the-
think that about a bed that lets you shut out the rest of the world.
Yep, I see. Can't get in the drawers. Painting.
Nice little cottage. Looks...
Alright. We checked the vanity already. Obviously, there's some there's some kind of key somewhere. I was hoping that maybe we could use the tweezers, perhaps, to get in there. But let's keep looking around. Let's keep checking things. Painting, sofa, bookcase, the drawers.
Let's see if there's anything in these drawers. Damn, nothing but personal effects and more stationery.
Don't forget the first rule of detective work. If there's nothing useful inside, check underneath and between.
Ah, yes, of course. Thanks for the reminder.
Underneath and between.
Now this is intriguing.
Okay. I'm not gonna warn you again, you disgusting something. Thug, stay away from my daughter and my house, or I'll kill you myself. That is a good thing to have.
It would appear that Madame Dupre was taking music lessons.
Her current predicament has probably put an end to that venture, though.
Hold on. Writing this down. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Well, it's doing this. It's just doing a scale. Do, re, mi, fa, si, la, ti, do. The book?
Seems Madame Dupre fancies herself a poet.
I wouldn't. Caress my cheek, bring forth the soothing. Oh, Morpheus. Caress my cheek, bring forth the soothing visions. Give me strength when I am weak. Allow me some provisions. I am in your domain. I am as a queen, controlling all I see and hear. I've traveled places I've never been, and know not the meaning of fear. The dove. The dove is pure, serene, and pale, a glowing angel in the sparkling sky. Its gentle coos unlike the wail of the cursed crow that will not die. Protect the dove from grim defeat. Let it remain in gentle flight. For where the crow's allowed to eat, it covers the world in eternal night. Okay. A little dark. Morpheus. That name is not...
that was life-changing.
Means
For
nothing
once
to
in
me.
my life, I'm completely speechless.
Then perhaps I should take this with me and read it more often.
I would take it with you.
Nah.
That's an old uniform, from the turn of the century by the look of it. This must be Madame Dupre's first husband. Kinda strange that she'd still keep his portrait in the bedroom. A much younger Madame Dupre. I suppose that's a nice alternative to a mirror.
But the mirror's here.
You've got some huge bags under your eyes, Miles. Reminds me of the case we had on that strange train.
Don't remind me.
Can we peek outside? Check to make sure nothing else has changed. Do we already look at the bookcase? I don't think we have. Let's just do that real quick. I'm glad we did.
Choice and consequence. Who in their right mind would write a book about that?
The fact that it's like
I don't
that
even
makes
want
me
to know what that
suspicious.
one's about. I read that one last year. If you ever wanted to know the intimate details of a buffalo's anatomy, I highly recommend it.
Why? So this one's called Equestrian Mesmerism. Buffalo Skinner. Brief history. Convent of the Damned.
Now that one
short
sounds
story.
interesting. I was always a fan of Bedletter's short stories.
The Parson of
One of those
Crook Hall.
melodramatic romances. I read it a while back, and I couldn't tell you a thing about
Choice and
it.
consequences, though. That one I'm gonna write down.
Choice and
That one seems like for some reason the way that it's oriented makes
Ooh,
you
a
fail.
fainting couch. You know,
Makes you kind of feel like it might be something potentially important. Let's go back in here. We still do not have a key. I'm gonna play the scale. And I don't know. I don't know if anything's gonna happen with it, but where are we at? Where's my C at? There you go. Wasn't that it? Middle C. Do, re, mi, fa, si, la, ti, do. Nothing happened, but that was the scale. That was the right one. All right. We checked everything, I think. That was up here. Oh, we didn't check the drawers.
this is always my favorite part of detective work.
Get in there. You need a warrant for this, bud.
Nothing inside but a bunch of extra doilies.
How disappointing. Maybe you should steal one, just to spite Madame Dupre for not giving us any good clues.
Agreed.
No, Bill.
You're no fun, Miles.
You are no fun. Let's go downstairs. Go to the kitchen. That note is pretty telling, though. I think that's a good start. Let's check out the rest of this, and then we're gonna have to talk to the fella.
Certainly no shortage of bowls or food preparation items around here. Looks like the type of spices you'd use in a stew. Most likely paprika or turmeric. Nice variety of reds and oranges. Some kind of water dispensing device, maybe? I was never very good at finding my way around the kitchen. Yeah, looks like gumbo's on the menu tonight. I wonder how it compares with Upton's special recipe. Judging by the amount of food this family probably eats, washing the dishes must take forever.
Trying to see if there's anything in particularly interactive here.
It's times like these make me wish I could still eat.
Huh. Alright, let's talk to the servant. I was hoping to find a key.
Miss.
What? Who are you?
I'm Miles Fordham. I'm investigating the attempted murder of Madame Dupre.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir, but I'm very busy. I can't help you.
Okay.
Do you know anything about what happened to Madame Dupre?
No, I don't. Please leave me to my work. I shouldn't be talking to you.
Now, why is that?
All right, I'm going. Pardon me,
No, I'm
miss.
not.
All right.
Okay, she will not speak with me. Alright, she was learning how to play music, but we didn't find any particular clues that were helpful there. Choices and consequence. That one was tilted. I couldn't read it. I'm convinced there's something about that harpsichord up there. Harpsichord? Harpsichord.
I have some questions for you.
Oh, goody.
Oh my gosh. Alright,
What can you tell me about Madame Dupre?
yes.
She came back from the dead. I couldn't believe it. My mother, resurrected, just like Jesus.
Oh gosh, you're so high right now.
I heard you're the one who accused Mr. Martin of the crime.
Oh, no, I already talked to the police about that. I don't want to think about it right now.
Alright. Let's talk about you.
How do you typically spend your days, Mr. Montgomery? What are your interests?
Oh, a little of this and a little of that. Nothing
Yeah.
as exciting as what you do, I'm sure. Ooh, tell me, do most bad people start crying when you catch them? I'll bet it's a laugh riot to see them sobbing away.
No, Mr. Montgomery, most of them don't.
Well, that's a real shame, isn't it?
Alright.
What can you tell me about your sister, Juliet?
I'm reminded of a famous quote, Mr. Fordham. Parting is such sweet sorrow.
What?
Let us part on good terms and avoid the subject altogether, please.
That's a rather exotic bird you've got.
I like looking at him. He has such pretty colors, doesn't he?
That he does.
You know, I've always wondered what he might taste like.
Whoa.
Is that bad, do you think?
I really couldn't say, Mr. Montgomery. Thanks for your time.
No, thank you for yours.
He was remarkably unhelpful.
He won't be of any use in this state. If it takes him as long to snap out of it as it takes you, we'll be waiting around here until noontime tomorrow. There has to be a way to bring him back to his senses. Maybe that quack outside knows something of use.
Sounds good. I'm gonna real quick go back to the parrot here.
Holly, want a crack?
No thank.
Pieces of 8.
So long.
Rock.
His name is Ray, remember, Ray. I don't know why, but games like to do things on purpose.
With her vast sums, instead, she uses the money to keep her hedges trimmed.
Alright, we want to talk to Dr. Fellows, though. Oh, we might want to inspect her as well. I don't think
Doctor,
I did that.
may I ask you a few questions?
Please be my guest.
Alright, sir.
May I ask exactly what kind of sedative you gave Andrew?
A simple tincture of laudanum. It's what I give all my nervous patients.
He seems a bit out of sorts.
Hot? Meat kettle.
It can have that effect, but it usually wears off in half a day or so.
Is there a way to bring him out of his condition sooner?
A stimulant would have the opposite effect, but I wouldn't recommend mixing the two. It could have potentially harmful effects on his heart.
Oh, of course. I wasn't planning on doing anything of the sort. I was just curious.
It's cute how you act like you have no experience in these matters. It's almost convincing.
Those are all the questions I've got for now.
This is
I hope
kind of
I
scary.
answered them adequately.
Her eyes are glazed over and she's got a vacant, expressionless stare. She seems completely oblivious to her surroundings. If we didn't know she'd been buried alive, I'd say she was just exhibiting the typical symptoms of your average rich person.
Find a stimulant. Well, we already know this, but I'm afraid of killing him. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna give this man a stimulant. We're gonna see if he snaps out or if he dies. We're gonna find all this out in the next episode because that's been enough time for today, guys. Hope y'all are enjoying this. So here's the save and load buttons. Hopefully you guys are all enjoying it. I am. Hit the like button if you are. I'll see you guys next time. We'll try to figure out what the heck is going on here. Much love. Peace out.